Hello guys, welcome to the Crime Cases TV channel. My name is Amir and tonight we are going to watch the story of a psychopath and review the case. Please stay with me until the end of the video. In early June 2009, Los Angeles Police Department Criminal Division investigators invited Stephanie Lazarus, a former member of the police force, to talk to them about an artwork that had been stolen some time ago. Stephanie Lazarus was in charge of the case for a while. The police first told Lazarus that they had arrested a man who wanted to talk about this robbery. The plan of the investigators was to keep the conversation as informal as possible and carefully wait for a key moment to take action and crush him. Lazarus had to hand over her gun to enter the room. The police were worried that she might react violently. Unaware of everything, Stephanie handed over her weapon and entered the interrogation room.
Stephanie, I don't know if you know my partner.
Hey,
great.
Hi.
Stern, nice to meet
See you guys.
How's it going?
Good.
Milling around. Well, have a seat. I don't want to talk about this in the squadron because I don't know who people are listening.
That's true.
And if we go to my side, everybody's always wondering what everybody else is
sure,
doing.
no problem.
Okay.
The first thing the detective did was to set a tone compatible with the suspect. Stephanie was aware of the negative effects of the interrogation room, so the detectives, with the trick of holding a friendly consultation meeting and asking for advice on the theft of artworks, made Stephanie enter the interrogation room without a fight and of course without a weapon.
But we're talking about being busy and stuff. We've been assigned a case that we've been looking at.
Okay.
It's a new case, and reviewing the case, there's some notes to see as far as your name being mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Do you know John Rutan?
Imagine for a moment that you brutally murder an old love rival out of jealousy and anger, and 20 years later pass since that incident, and suddenly you wake up and find yourself in the interrogation room right in front of the two detectives. The chief investigator sat down and they mentioned the name of the person for whom you committed the murder.
John Rutten?
Rutan.
The investigators know how to pronounce John Rutten's name. This mispronunciation was a simple strategy at the beginning of the work to see how the suspect would react. Let's use the murder case for a moment. John was Stephanie's second relationship. Psychologists believe that the long pause to remember John's name was 4 times longer than usual, and this shows that Stephanie wanted to pretend that she had not thought about this name for a long time. While John Rutten, it is engraved in her memory in such a way that even if she pronounces it little wrongly, she will probably understand very quickly who the referee is referring to.
Oh, yeah, I went to school with him.
You did?
Yeah.
How long did you know him?
Gosh, I went to school in, let's see, went to UCLA in 1978 I started and, met him at school at the dorms.
Stephanie says she saw John in a dorm while they were dating for 4 years and spent several vacations together. Even if she was not asked directly, someone who wants to tell the truth will provide this information without pressure and voluntarily.
Yeah, we're very close friends.
Yeah.
I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's a case we're working on. It involves John, and in there, some of the statements we reviewed, there's notes and stuff that he knew you and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we were good friends, lived in the dorms I lived in the dorms for 2 years.
You guys lived in the same dorm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dykstra.
Okay. Were you guys just friends or anything else, or?
Yeah, we were good friends.
Yeah. Was there ever any relationship or anything that developed between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we dated, I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's relating to his wife.
Unfortunately, at this moment, Stephanie's face is not in the frame. She has undoubtedly been influenced by this famous psychological reaction. At this moment, the brain prepares itself to stay and face the problem or run away and seek refuge in a safe place by releasing the special combined hormones. But here, Stephanie chose to fight.
Okay.
Okay. Did you know her?
Not really. I mean, I knew that he got married years ago.
Did you ever meet her?
God, I don't know.
Do you know who she was or anything?
Well, let me think. God, it's been a long time ago. I may have met her. Geez.
These words are exclamation words used to express strong emotions. During this interrogation, Stephanie uses these words many times to pretend that she's looking for answers in a series of vague and distant memories. She tries to make the detective think that since she and John haven't seen each other for 2 decades, she has no reason to think about John or anything related to John.
You know.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Let me ask you. You said you dated John. How long did you guys date?
I mean, what? Are you guys, is this something?
Stephanie has been a police officer for 20 years. She knows that unusual developments in the situation are a bright flag in the eyes of investigators. Guilty suspects often try to feign naivety as a defensive tool to avoid any argument, while the innocent suspect fights fearlessly.
I mean, you said I was going to interview somebody about art, and how you guys are.
Stephanie, here's the situation. It's basically.
The investigator very subtly ignores the question, but instead gives the detective a reassuring answer to the suspect. She returns to the subject of the murder and talks about workplace rumors. Stephanie had asked what is going on here, and now the investigator assured her that we are your friends.
And we didn't want to come up to you at your desk and ask those kinds of questions or do anything. You know how up there people can see what's going on if you go into an interview room or people are in there getting supplies.
Okay,
So we wanted to afford you some privacy, some confidentiality to talk about this because we thought it might be, something, you're married to someone else, obviously, and so forth, and that you may not want to, talk about these things in that setting where someone, we don't want the rumor mill or gossip or any of that kind of stuff to start.
That's fine. I mean.
So we did this just as a means to try and speak to you in just a confidential place where where your business isn't out there for other people in your division to know about.
Whether she's shocked or unwilling to accept the existing situation, she cautiously accepts the investigator's reassuring answer and returns to her previous phase, where she was looking for answers in a series of vague and old memories.
God, that's been a million years ago. I mean, what year is it now? 2009? I mean, I graduated in 82, yeah. We dated. I dated other guys. I'm sure he dated other girls.
Well, let me ask you, roughly how long would you say you guys dated?
Oh, jeez. I couldn't even say. I mean.
From this moment on, Stephanie enters the next phase. She starts to over-explain things that don't need to be explained at all. There are clear signs of over-arousals in this phase and movements. The suspect uses irrelevant issues as a means to appease and convince the detectives. In fact, by doing this, she escapes from this terrible situation for a few moments. This happens a lot in interrogations where the subject is facing serious charges.
I started school there in 78. I started UCLA in 1978. I graduated in 82. I don't even remember what year he graduated, if it was a year or two before me.
Okay.
I think he was a little bit older than I was. I mean, I can't remember if he was born, let's see, I was born in 1960. I don't know if he was born in 58 or 59. I mean, I knew his parents, I knew his sister. His brother went to Northridge. His sister spent the night at my house before. Obviously, I spent the night at his house before. He probably spent the night at my house before.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, because from what you're telling me, you guys dated while you were in college together, right?
Yeah, and probably after college. I can't. Geez, I'm trying to think when I met my husband. I met my husband when did I meet Scott? Let's see. I was teaching DARE, because I met Scott when I was teaching DARE up in Oregon. But we had long stopped, dating before that.
So you haven't talked to him for a long time?
Oh, I think I haven't talked to him in a long time. I couldn't even tell you when the last time I talked to him. I met Scott, I'm thinking in 92 maybe, April of 92. It was
Scott being your husband.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was teaching DARE. Let's see, what year is this? We'll be married. I got married in 1996. I think I met Scott in 92. Prior to that, I couldn't tell you how long I had talked to John prior to that.
But since you met your husband, Scott, you haven't talked to him?
I mean, he may have called me once or twice before we got married.
Right.
I moved to Simi in 1994 because I lost my house in the earthquake.
Oh, really?
Quite honestly, I probably keep in contact with a few people from the dorms. We all lived on the 10th floor, and there's about 3 or 4 people I keep in contact with. There's probably like 6 or 8 of us that were all really close.
Mm-hmm. And who are those people?
Oh, geez. Diana Basta. People I still keep. I haven't been in contact with her in a long time. I mean, what's this all about? I mean.
Well, let me ask you.
Barry's subject challenged the detective for the second time and escapes from answering the question again. But this time, unlike the previous time, the investigators intend to increase the pressure. One way is subtle and at the same time very effective.
What ended the relationship between you and John?
It was kind of a weird relationship. I mean, we dated. I can't say that he was my boyfriend. I don't know that he would consider me his girlfriend. We dated. We did things. I played sports in college. He played basketball. His brother played basketball. It just didn't work out.
And once you guys split, were you guys still friends, or kind of, problems? Is it friendly, not friendly?
No, I don't think it was not friendly. I mean, we were friendly. I know that we went to Hawaii at one point. Yeah, I mean, And
you were saying that
it's 2009 now.
Had you ever met his wife?
I may have.
Do you remember her name or anything, or? Or what she did for a living, or where she worked, or anything about her?
The suspect was asked 3 questions related to the victim one after the other. In the first 2 questions, her face seemed like someone who was thinking while she already knew the answers. But in the 3rd question, her face completely changed, and this time again, she was really thinking and searching her memories to answer the question.
Had you ever met his wife?
I may have.
Do you remember her name or anything, or? Or what she did for a living, or where she worked, or anything about her?
Well, I think I'm going to say that I think she was a nurse. It's been so long ago.
Well, let me ask you, did you go to their wedding,
No, I didn't go to their wedding. No, I did not go to their wedding. Couldn't even tell you what year he got married. I mean, it's been a million years ago. Again, I don't understand why you're talking about some guy I dated a million years ago.
Well, do you know what happened to his wife?
Yeah, I know she got killed.
You don't need to be an expert in body language to recognize the strange horror that can be seen on the suspect's face at this moment. For the first time after 20 years, she is faced with the tragic history of the victim's death.
What did you hear about that?
I saw a poster at work. I'm sure I spoke to him about it. I think I spoke to another friend of his about it.
And how did you first learn about that?
Jeez. Someone could have called me. I could have heard it at work. I think at one point there may have been a flyer or something. I know a good friend of his...
Were you on the job back then when that happened?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm sure I was on the job. That's why I would have heard about it with the flyer. He had a good friend, Mike Boldrick.
Being that you were kind of used to see John, was it everything okay between you guys? I mean, there was never anything uncomfortable or anything between you and her?
I don't know. I mean, it's been so many years. I mean, uncomfortable. I mean, I can't even remember if we had a conversation. I mean, I may have seen her at his apartment. Geez, how many years ago was that? I don't even know what year she, got killed.
Where was his apartment?
On Roscoe.
Okay.
Yeah, Roscoe and east or west of DeSoto. Either east or west of DeSoto.
Do you know where he moved after? Did he move after he got married, or do you know? Or?
Now you can see how Stephanie's cool and indifferent behavior changed to madness. She once again drowns in her vague memories.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Did you know where he was living, or?
Somewhere in the valley.
Did you ever visit him and his wife?
No.
No, never went out to, get-together dinners, anything of that nature?
No. Like I said, his sister used to come over. His sister had come to my place. I knew his brother because his brother played basketball at Northridge.
And after his wife died, did you talk to him again or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I did talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him, probably his parents, probably some other friends.
But you're not sure where he moved to after he got married?
No idea. I mean,
never went over to visit him or
I don't think. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I did.
And you're right.
I mean, if you guys are claiming that I'm a suspect, then I got a problem with that.
Okay.
Okay. So, if you're doing this as an interrogation, you're saying, hey, I'm a suspect. Well, now I got a problem with, now you're accusing me of this? Is that what you're saying?
We're trying to figure out what happened, Stephanie.
Well, I'm just saying, do I need to get a lawyer if you're accusing me of this? You
don't have to. I mean, you're here of your own free will. I mean,
no. I know, but
you're not under arrest. You can walk out.
You can leave whenever you like.
Well, I'm trying to give you some background of how I knew him, and now you're telling me that somebody's saying that we had this big old fight, and I don't even know what you're talking about. And I don't want to get in trouble for something that I didn't even do, or you're saying I did something.
Okay.
Yeah, we understand.
I mean, how would you guys like it if the tables were turned on you?
I understand. No.
No, that's what we're telling you. I mean, you're free to go whenever you want. If this makes you uncomfortable and you want to...
now you're starting to make me uncomfortable.
The thing is, I mean, we're looking at everything else on the case. Because nobody was ever arrested on the case.
I don't know that or not.
Okay. Now, what we'd like to do is, obviously you know about all the DNA stuff and things of the nature that, gets done on cases nowadays. If we asked you for a DNA swab, would you be willing to give us one?
Maybe. Because now I'm thinking I probably need to talk to a lawyer.
Okay.
I mean, because I know how this stuff works, okay? Don't get me wrong, you're right, I have been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And I wish I had been recording this because now it sounds like, there's, you're telling these people say I'm fighting with her, and now it sounds like you're trying to, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, we know.
Okay? And now it almost sounds like you're trying to pin something on me.
No,
now I got that sense.
Well, what it gets to on these cases, and you know it as well as I do, our job is to identify and eliminate suspects.
I can't believe this.
So if we ask you to the point to give us a DNA sample, a buccal swab, so we can identify or eliminate you, would you be willing to do that?
Maybe. Because I know this,
That's where we're at too. I mean, because right now, from looking at the evidence, it's possible we may have some DNA at the location.
That's great.
And we're going to do what we can to try to put this thing together. And your name's in the book. These people are pointing at you for whatever reason.
I don't know why. That's just crazy. I mean, that's absolutely crazy.
And it would be irresponsible on our part not to look at it.
I know. You guys have to do your job, and I guess I'm going to have to contact somebody. So...
That's fair.
I mean, because I know how this stuff works.
Sure.
I mean, I just can't believe it.
I mean, we understand that. I mean, if we were in your position, I mean, we would feel the same way.
I just can't even believe it. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that somebody would be saying that I did this. I mean, we had a fight, and so I went and killed her. I mean, come on.
Well,
that's...
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for giving me the courtesy. I wish I recorded that.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Stephanie, take care.
All right.
Absolutely crazy.
Have a seat, Stephanie.
This is insane.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Stephanie, you know you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to the presence of an attorney before and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you free of charge before any questioning if you want. Do you understand?
Yes.
You want to talk to us right now?
No.
All right. Okay.
This is crazy. This is absolutely... I'm like in shock. I'm totally in shock.
In the early 80s, John and Stephanie met at UCLA University. The pair were athletes. John was a runner and Stephanie played for the varsity basketball team. They started dating, but their relationship never really worked out, although Stephanie showed early signs of obsession with John in various situations. Showed herself years passed and John met a girl named Cherry, who was the nursing director for a medical center, and their relationship soon became serious. Although Stephanie was heartbroken by this incident, she continued to be friends with John and was even in contact with his family for a while until John and Sherry got married. On the morning of February 24, 1986, John left home for work as usual, while Sherry was home alone, and several hours later called home several times. John's calls went unanswered and Sherry didn't answer the phone. When John returns home, he finds Sherry dead on the living room floor. Sherry had been shot several times and there were signs of a struggle. It seemed that someone entered the house and staged a scene as if a robbery had happened, a robbery that ended in a terrible incident. For years, detectives found no leads and no suspects for the crime. Sherry's parents begged the lead detective on the case to investigate Stephanie Lazarus, but that didn't happen. Stephanie had committed a murder and it seemed that she would never be caught. But years later, when DNA tests were added to the police investigation, the case was reopened. The result of the DNA test finally connected Stephanie to this crime. In court, Stephanie's lawyer pointed to a blood stain at the crime scene, which was not released to crime. Nor did Stephanie raise the possibility of another suspect. Then she tries to defend her client against the charges by rejecting the DNA test result because the sample envelope was not sealed. Finally, after several trials, Stephanie Lazarus was sentenced to 27 years in prison as the main culprit of this case. Thank you for being with me until this video. Please subscribe to the channel and set the bell to all to be notified when a new video is released. I'm waiting for your likes and comments about this video.